Funding for state grant programs is not as bad as we thought it was going to be. We're certainly not in as good a condition as we were 2 years ago when the legislature passed that biennial budget. We've actually suffered a little over a $14 million loss in state grant programs for our students for this coming year. In order to fund all the students who are eligible for renewing their state grants and fund some of our newly eligible students for those grants, we're going to have to ask those students to take a little bit less in the state grant programs, which means that those students and their parents are going to have to borrow more. We think that we lost some very capable prospective freshmen who could have come to this university and attended and done very well, even though they're from very low-income households, because when we were able to offer them a financial aid package in March or April, there simply wasn't enough grant or scholarship money that we could put in that package without state funds to offer them an affordable package, and we had to offer them so much loan that we're afraid that just scared a lot of those families away from trying to attend UT Austin.
There's two sides to this. There's the families and the students who are trying to figure out how they're going to pay for college. On the other side, you're trying to enforce this and figure out the new rules. Is that a difficult process for your office to have to do?
What you've got here is an office full of people who are have made it their role to try to make sure students can afford to attend this university, and they're finding that more and more difficult than ever before. And quite frankly, the frustration level of our staff is very high because they're on the tipping point. They, unlike policymakers who make these decisions around the state, they actually see in the flesh the students and the families that are affected by these decisions.
Mm-hmm. Do you hear from the families?
We do, and there's a lot of families expressing a lot of disappointment that they're getting less grant money this year than they got last year. And we're trying to explain to them what's been going on. They're very understanding about that. We appreciate that. We think the role of a financial aid office is not just to put money in people's hands, but to teach them how to use it most effectively, and also to hopefully keep them out of debt. I would suggest to you it is worth it to borrow to get the quality of education you get at UT Austin. But the less somebody has to borrow because they may engage in frivolous spending, spending they don't absolutely need to spending on wants versus needs, we think the better lifestyle they're going to have after they leave school, because they'll have a little less debt to pay off.
Mm-hmm. So tough year for your staff, you think? A new kind of year, big changes coming?
It's been an unprecedented year, both for our staff, but most importantly for our students and their families.